Okay, so this is my friend Carrie's. This is her birthday present. And so I have a cover. Those are die cuts that I've used that I've made myself. The little llama is a rub-on that I got at the dollar store. So they're just so cute. And then we have stamped images. And then I also have tabs on the edge of the page. So, and they say things like dreams, probably not a good idea. And then at the top we have peace, love, and inspire. So these are just little sections that I've created with tabs. This is the page for love. So this is actually a stamp that I made with thing that says, where there is love, there is no darkness. And so I've just used the colors to complement the color of the cardstock. And that's just a page starter for her. And so if we go through the pages, then you can see we have, here are the pockets that I was telling you about. So this is a bookmark that I've just put in there. And she can take that out, put a picture in there if she wants, or anything else that she would want to put in there. So those are really handy. And all that is this, like this paper right here, just cut down and glued in. So, and I did some stamping, little butterflies over the top to just add to that paper. Here, you can see, let me pull that over. I have a photo pocket. Now this is a CD, an old CD insert that I had just left over from other projects, but it's a big, deep pocket. This one is about probably 4.5 to 5 inches deep, and it's square, the CD size. So if you know what a CD case size is, that's the size of this pocket. So this was made for CDs that would slip into the front or back of a book. So they're great for photographs, and they'll stay with that page. You know, and then just some random stuff. This is a piece of ribbon that I just cut and glued, just black and white polka dots. So you can really go wild with this. Again, more scrap paper. Just this is scrapbook paper. So it says groovy, happy, free, and then on the opposite page, I have stamped a flower. So here on the back cover, I made another pocket, and this has, I also do card making. So in the card making, I have these dies, and this could actually go on the front of a card. So here I've chose to make it into a pocket and put this die cut in it. So little sleeve for that. Again, she can take that out if she wants to, or put a picture or whatever behind it. And that is the back jacket of her journal. So you can kind of see where we're going to start. Some of the things that we're going to do. Here is another quote. This is a stamp from a guy that I collect. His art supplies, and he's been around forever. His name's Tim Holtz. So it's courage is being yourself every day in a world that expects you to be someone else. And I just, I love some of those stamps because, you make cards with them and stuff, but if you've got somebody that would like to journal, I just love them, life is good. You know, we all need to remember those positive affirmations, and that's the big thrust of this. So anyway, I am going to stop there. This is another die cut, just little flowers on a random paper. I'm going to stop there and then go ahead and start cutting. Now these first pockets that I'm going to cut, I'm going to do at 3.5 inches by 4 inches wide. These really do not have to be exact. Now that I'm looking at this, I think 4 inches might be a little snug, depending on what you're wanting to put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take that up to 5 inches. So that's an index card size pocket. And let me show you. So for this page, that fits perfectly. So it's just a little under that 6-inch edge that we need. And for making a pocket, it's deep enough that whatever I put in there is going to fit. So, and you've got the rest of the page to do something else with if you want. So again, that's a good size pocket. So, and you can, actually I've started writing this stuff down so that I don't forget what my measurements are. This is take 1 on my first official video, by the way. I don't know how much of this will get edited out, probably a lot. But we will go with 3.5 by 5. So you start with your height. You always go with your height first, and your width is your second measurement. Now you might wonder why I mention that. Well, it does make a difference, because if this is my pocket, and it could be, but look how narrow that is now. I've only got 3.5 inches for my opening, as to where here I have 5 inches. And so whenever you measure pretty much anything, pictures, furniture, carpet, those things do matter. So floors are a little bit different, but still, it's good to know where you start and where you finish. So there's that. So I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to keep going. So I think I'm going to go with some butterflies. The other thing I look at is the way the paper is oriented. So if I want my butterflies to appear more upright, I'm going to follow this little pattern, this fence line, and I'm going to trim this so that my butterflies are kind of in the center part. And let me show you how I do that. So again, using my trimmer, I'm going to go in here, not really measuring this time. This time I'm just going to use my eyes to see what I like the best. And I'm going to give myself maybe like an inch, well, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch over here, since this is going to be my focal point, this area right here. Okay, so see how centered that is now? Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to take this line down or out of our frame. So Okay, now if you don't have a paper trimmer, just use your ruler and draw yourself a straight edge and then cut. My skill set does not include cutting a straight line, so I don't. I let the paper trimmer and these lines on the cutter, and I don't know if you can see the grid lines or not, but you've got your ruler at the bottom. There's all kinds of these. There's regular trimmers. There's all kinds of tools to help you with that. This is just what I'm used to using. So now I have this pretty little card, and got a little butterfly at the top. I'm liking that. So I'm going to put it aside over here with my other stash. And we'll keep going. So, pardon me. Have to have my fuel. Can't do anything without coffee, right? Okay. Onward and onward. So, and I'll tell you, I really do keep my journal close by. Sometimes just visualizing, where something's going to go on a page. How much of something do I want to use? This is a pretty wide piece. It actually measures just over 3.5 inches, which puts it over half of my page. So I typically try to stay probably around the 2-inch mark, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this down to like probably 2 inches by 2 by 7. So it's going to be 2 inches. So it's going to be 7 inches tall. Start with our height. And then it's going to be 2 inches wide. Okay. Now, when I cut it though, I'm going to have to cut it. I have to cut it this way first, just because it won't fit in the trimmer otherwise. So, I said 2 by 7. Okay, so I've measured that out. And here is my 2-inch piece. And I like these grid lines because they help keep you straight. Again, I need all the help I can get with the straight lines. That's the other nice thing about this ruler. It's a T ruler, and it really makes a huge difference. So I can see that my cut lines are straight and true. So that way I don't have an uneven line up here that would be visible when I glue it down to my paper, if that makes sense. Okay, now on to the next. Okay, and I'm thinking that this would be a good pocket piece. The nice thing about the florals is you really can't go too wrong. There's not a right way or a wrong way for that design to lay. So you see it's just pretty, and it's a very faint pink with a little bit of rose or red in there, but it's real subtle. So, and this is actually like 5.5 inches by 4.5. So I'm going to cut it down to 5. Cut it down to 5 inches wide. And this one I'm not going to cut as much off the top. I'm going to still leave it pretty deep. I'm going to cut it right at 4 inches. So you can see with my other two pockets shapes that I've cut, this one's going to be solid. This is going to be a pocket. But see, they're not quite the same size. And that's okay. I don't want them exactly the same size. I want them to be their own thing. Because each page is a whole thing by itself. So, All right. So I can tell by this piece, I haven't cut this piece. This whole piece is 12 inches long. So it's a pretty big piece. So I don't have to measure on that one. I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to 5.5. Well, I'm going to do 6 inches on this one because I'm going to do some extra stuff with this. So see, I've got two 6-inch pieces now. I'm going to do some stamping, and we'll move on to that in just a second. And with the stamping, I'll probably trim it again on the trimmer and then glue that into the journal. So go ahead and just put these over here for now. And now I'm going to cut out some strips of just a couple of solid colors that will be added in. These will end up either being parts of pockets. Sometimes I like to make a little like envelope where I'll take a piece like this, fold it, make a flap for it, like, I don't know, like so, like a whole nother piece. That's not a good example. You know, another kind of paper, still not a great example, but this would be like a flap and fold up, and I'll show you how we do those. But it's kind of neat to hang on to your scraps. This one would be a good for like a pocket. And then fold that over, and then you have a pocket underneath. So kind of hidden, like a hidden pocket. So again, we'll go over that. That one actually, hey, I can cut that one down right now, and then we're good to go. Okay. That is another thing I do like to do is improvise. And so sometimes when you get used to doing this, your ideas will just come to you while you're working. And that, if you work in that style, it's a lot of fun. I know not everybody does. And if you're that person, because you saw me start in the middle, but if you're that person, then if you haven't switched the video already, you might want to. So, but that's okay, because I can be very entertaining. Usually it's on accident, so there we go. All right. Okay, that's still a little bit wide for a pocket. And so let me show you. Let me get in frame here. Okay. So this is actually too wide.